off. I turned all the volumes away.
Hey guys, we're getting started here. We're giving everyone some time to get on. Just give us one more minute.
Okay, we have 0 people. Oh, we have Donna Jansen logged in.
Boom.
Oh, we have 10 people logged in so far. Melissa Brindle says hi. Donna Jansen says hi.
Hi.
Donna, are you in your new house? Yes. I know you and Bill were looking at some property or something like that. David Ransom says hi. Hi, Dave. Hey Matthew, you're welcome. Matthew Clarita says thanks for the driver care packages. Riley and Kyla and Joplin, we sent all the drivers a custom driver appreciation T-shirt and a tri-state
Nice.
mug.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Very nice.
So we're just a minute over 11 here with 21 people in on the video. How's sound, guys? Let us know if you can't hear us.
Good morning, everyone.
Do you guys want to go ahead and get started? I think we have enough people to get started.
Yep.
Yeah? All right.
Oh, okay. Hey, thank you everyone for joining us today. This is Tri-State Live on Facebook. We're here in Phoenix. We're in the Glendale office with the recruiting department. Brittany is our recruiting manager, but she's behind the cameras directing everything. My name is Michael Fisk, and you'll see various messages from me, and hopefully I've talked with many of you. And then this is just a chance for everybody to kind of get to know, most of you have worked with, or some of you anyway, have worked with, Kim or Tim or Steven, as your hiring coordinator, when you join the company. But, our big goal today is we just want to help everybody understand, why, several questions. Why do we continue to hire drivers? How do we how do we recruit? What kind of drivers are we looking for? Kim's in particular, Kim and Steven are going to talk about our driver referral bonus program. Some of you know about it, many of you probably don't, and explain how that works. But let me start with a question from Floria Williams, and I don't know if Floria's on yet, but she sent in a question, says, why do we keep hiring drivers when we're not running the drivers that we have now, okay? And that feels like a little bit of a loaded question. Here's the deal. We know the freight's a bit slow right now, this time of the year, but overall for 2018, it's not just us, but industry-wide, freight is up, 20-30%. Revenues are up, and load counts are up. I mean, everybody is just extremely busy. And public companies have disclosed or shared many of their numbers, and everybody's up a significant amount, okay? For us, I mean, and every trucking company, there is a seasonality to our freight, and we all understand this, okay? Now, for the retail FAK carriers, I mean, they're pretty busy right now, and they'll stay pretty busy, until Thanksgiving. For us, our DOD typically falls off in October, November, December, January, and then we'll start picking up again. Some years are different. I mean, I remember in 2015, we were extremely busy. In 2016, we were really slow over the holiday season. So it's hard to predict what it's going to be and so forth. Right now, we have a number of empty trucks, okay? You guys understand the amount of training it takes to get drivers involved into our fleet and get them comfortable with the type of freight that we move. And so even though we are slower, this is a good training opportunity, good training season for us to get drivers in, get them acclimated without a real high pressure environment. For you owner operators, and I talk to a lot of owner operators, I know your revenue is down right now. Historically, when we bring in owner operators, we tell them that they can average right around $7,500 a week gross settlements, okay? And historically that's numbers that we're at. Well, 2018, we're much higher than that. I mean, as most of you owner operators will attest, I mean, most of you are $9,000, $9,500 a week average gross settlements. That's not every single week, we understand that, but when you average out all your working weeks, that's where our owner operators have been, for 2018. Well, the last 3-4 weeks, I mean, DOD has been down, freight volume's been down, and so revenues have been down, as well. But last week, 2 weeks ago, we were about 7,400 average gross settlement for our entire fleet of owner operators. But last week, we're right back up to 8,300. So it's going to go up and down, and will for the next couple of 3 months. We're aware of that, but that's a couple of things. One, and Kim's going to talk about this a bit more. We're not hiring any more owner operators right now, just to respond to Floria, your point there. But we have a huge push for company drivers, because this is an opportunity where we get them into our freight system and trained and just comfortable with what we do without as much pressure. So anyway, let me turn it over to Kim right now. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure.
And talk about a couple of things?
Sure. My name is Kim Scott, and I have been with Tri-State about 1.5 years in the recruiting department. I've had an opportunity to get to know a lot of the drivers, be able to bring them in. It's been a wonderful experience. I've actually been a recruiter for about 11 years. So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. What I can attest to is that this company is very different. The way that they care about the drivers, the things that they have implemented to make this a better atmosphere for the drivers. Are we perfect? No. But we're always open and willing to listen, find out what we can do better. But me, I genuinely love the opportunity that I have here. I've worked with other companies that did not care whether or not the drivers made money, whether or not, their pay fluctuated from $200 a week, to $1,000 a week, where there was some inconsistency. I really appreciate that I can say that when I bring a driver on, I know that they're going to do really well here. They're always going to be able to pay their bills, and they always have a consistent paycheck that they can depend on, which a lot of companies can't say that. One of the things that I feel is really important to us and in the recruiting department, in talking to drivers, we talk to hundreds of drivers every single week. And unfortunately, the biggest thing that we hear is how recruiters lie. We hear it all day long. And the hard part is being a truthful recruiter, where we send documents in writing, where we only disclose accurate information that can be found on the website as well as in black and white print. It's so difficult to talk to a driver that is afraid and fearful to trust what we're telling them. And it makes me really, really sad that a lot of different companies out there take advantage so that they can just continue to bring on as many drivers without really caring how they're going to be taken care of. But again, we're not perfect. So, me, Tim, and Steven, we all would like to say that, we do our very best. If you sat in the office with us, we'll fight tooth and nail for our drivers to get them in and to get them what we told them that they were going to get. But it doesn't always mean it's about perception. Not everybody perceives it that way, and it has a lot to do with previous experience. So what we'd like to do is maybe get some comments from some of the drivers that have actually personally dealt with us, or may have been another, hiring coordinator from before we were here. We're always striving to do better and to be better. And again, as much as I'd like to, you know, say that I'm a phenomenal recruiter and I tell the truth and I'm amazing, I would like to be so much better than that for you guys. So we'd love to find out, you know, give us some feedback on what we're doing right, because we really need to hear that. And then also, what can we do better?
Right.
That's great.
That's it.
And then we should point out that Dorena Burns also is works in our group, but she's out of Joplin, so otherwise she would have joined us on this Facebook Live. Hi, Dorena.
Hi, Dorena.
They're okay. But yeah, Dorena, we love working with her. We just saw her 2 weekends ago, and most of you probably know Dorena, even though you haven't met many of us, because she is right there in Joplin. So thanks, Kim. So yeah, so send in that feedback now if you've got it, or email it to any of us later on. But if you have that kind of questions or feedback right now, please share it with us, even if it's tough ones, and we'll address it here. Okay. Tim, you wanna?
Sure. My name's Tim Douglas. Been with Tri-State for about 3 or 4 months right now, so I'm the new guy. I don't have a lot of stuff, a lot of information to go over like Kim and Steven do. They've been doing this a lot longer than I have. So today I'm going to go over our driver qualifications. And first of all, I want to thank everybody for signing in today, guys. We really appreciate that. It's nice to put a face to a name. But so, as you're talking to your friends, family, other drivers out there on the road, it's easy just to go, hey, call Tri-State. We need drivers. But we do have qualifications. We want to make sure that you guys know what those are. The first thing is you got to be 23 years old. We want to make sure that we have the safest drivers out there. And this is what I'm going to go over today, is going to solidify the fact that we hire the cream of the crop. You guys are the best of the best out there. We don't want guys that are, knuckleheads. I'm not saying they don't slide through. Sometimes it happens. But we're going to try to get the best out there so you guys can represent the company like you currently do, okay? Second thing is you got to have a Class A CDL with hazmat and tanker endorsements. At least 1 year of verifiable over-the-road experience. No more than 3 jobs in the last in the last year, or 5 in the last 2 years. You've got to be a U.S. citizen or a non-U.S. citizen with a valid TWIC card. No preventable DOT recordable accidents. No more than 2 preventable accidents in the last 3 years. No more than 2 non-serious moving violations in the last 3 years. And one of the things on here, guys, is felonies. Felonies is going to be held case by case, guys. If they say, hey, look, I had something happen back in 1996 or even in 2003, don't discourage them. Let us look at that. Let us make a decision on that. It's all going to be case by case as to what the issue was, how long ago it happened, those kind of things. And we're going to get some approval there. Everybody's made mistakes in their lives. We're not going to hold that against you, okay? Everybody has to be able to obtain a government-issued TWIC card. You must have a CSA score of 65 or less. You must be able to pass a drug screen given during orientation. And then you got to be able to pass a road test, of course. And guys, again, I don't have a lot of information, but thank you for signing in today. I'm going to pass it back to Mike. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to get with any of us, and we'll try to, especially if you have questions about the stuff we're going over today, please get with us today. I mean, we're not going to turn you away. We're going to try and answer the question the best we can, okay? Thanks, guys.
It's important to note, thanks, Tim, that these are the basic qualifications. All of we expect more, we demand more, we need more. Okay, and so this is in many ways the minimum. However, I want to reflect on this. Okay, the world is different today than it was 10 years ago in trucking, and 20 years ago in trucking, and 30 years, and things continue to evolve. Those of you that have met John Wilbur, have talked to John Wilbur, they've seen his Facebook, live presentations and everything, you'll hear him make the comment, hey, listen, we're not trying to just be a great trucking company. That threshold is too low. We want to be a great company, okay? And so with that in mind, we want to be character driven, okay? So we have qualifications that's important to all of us. It's important to safety. At the end of it all, however, we want good people in the company, okay? And experience is important. and we don't want to diminish, that. With that being said, good people will get the experience, will get the skill sets we want them to have. But I don't care if you've got 5 years of over the road experience and on paper you're great, but you're just a bad person. We don't want you, and we're not going to hire you. I mean, it's and on the flip side of that, we have veterans in particular that come in and have a tough time, getting reacclimated into society, and if they choose trucking as their career, after the military service, we have these, it's cliche to say, but they're American heroes coming back, and they go to just lousy trucking companies. And you think about how many of you started your career, with companies you started with, and I don't want to name them, but we all know who the training companies are, and they're just lousy. They treat drivers poorly, they pay them poorly, they I don't know what they teach them, but they don't have very good skill sets, even though on paper they have 2 years of over-the-road experience or whatever. And so with all of that in mind, we want people of character, and we want to be a veteran-friendly company, especially given the type of freight, that we move. You'll see out there, we have about 15 drivers that we've brought in, that didn't have experience, okay? And I get real uncomfortable, bringing this up. We're not a training company. We're not ever going to be a training company. With that being said, we want to work with veterans. We want to work with people of good character, because we can teach them the trucking skills sets, and we have a specific program, that is much more involved than most training programs out there. But they come in and they don't, they don't get a bad experience right out of the gates. They're not taught bad, skills or bad work ethics or bad, whatever, that we have to unteach oftentimes. And, hopefully, they can come in and be treated with respect, and then pass that on to our customers and their fellow drivers and everybody else. And so when you hear about drivers that we are bringing in that don't, have all the experience that you would like them to have, just know that that's what we're looking for. Is we feel like that there's something there character-wise, or whatever, that they will be a benefit to the company, and to make us a great company overall, and not just versus other trucking companies. So, any questions about that? Please let us know, or send them in here. Okay.
Great.
Stephen, I'm sorry.
Just great point, Mike.
Okay.
That's great.
Hey guys, I'm Stephen Crenshaw. I've been with the company since August of 2013. I drove truck 18 years, 3 years here, and then I came into the office. I've been helping to bring drivers in for 2 years, and it's great. The main thing that I know is this. When I came here, I was struggling, I was behind. The guaranteed pay program very quickly allowed me to get correct financially. And every day I come to work, I know, all of us know, that if we can bring a driver in and get them on guaranteed team pay, that they're going to do better, and they're going to be able to take care of their family better. And that's what we all want to do here. Look, we're driver based. This is a trucking company. We want you guys to do well. We want you to be successful. And as far as recruiting, when you're out there, if you see somebody and talk to them and you think you could work a team truck with them, we need a name and a phone number. That way we can track them down, get them in a truck, get you paid your referral bonus, and grow the company with quality people. And that's what we're all here to do.
Good. Thanks, Steve. We have a couple of questions here that I'll respond to, but I also want to show everybody the pen.
Fuzzy pen.
I should have brought mine.
Yeah, fuzzy pen.
This is the pen that everyone's. If you send your address or your name, and we can look it up, to Riley, our social media coordinator. She put the email address on there. I think it's social media at tristatesecure.com. We'll get one of these pins sent out to you. Okay, so Bill Weiland Hi, Bill. You asked about owner-operators with large bunks. Can they lease on again? And then if you already have, a large bunk, can you replace that with a new truck? The quick answer is no and no. And let me explain why, Bill. It's our freight base. So standard in the industry is 4,400 pounds out there. We already make concessions with our customers to say, hey, listen, we're committing to 42.5, okay, and that's the obligation that we have with all of our customers. We have a number of trucks, and I don't remember how many, 15, 20 that are oversized and don't meet our criteria to pull our that full 42,500 pounds, or whatever. At the end of it all, as you said a few minutes ago, we want good people and we want good drivers, okay? And so we didn't want to push anybody away, if you already had an oversized sleeper and everything. However, it affects your revenue, and it affects the money that you're going to bring in. It just does. And then each time we send in a truck, a customer says, hey, I've been told that any tri-state truck that comes in can pull this 42,000 pounds, and then it turns out you can only do 39,000 or something. It just creates a lot of problems with our customer, with us, with operations, and it just creates conflict there. So in an effort to reduce all of those things, that's why we have the standard that we do of all of our owner-operated trucks. You have to be able to pull this amount of freight and what have not. So but those of you that with oversized trucks, we run you the best we can, and many of you are very happy with the revenue that you have. But I also get calls every month, those of you that are not happy with the revenue, that you have, and we continue to work with you the best we can. But that's why we have, those policies in place.
Donna Jansen sent in a question. She says, if we talk to a potential driver and give them your number, what do we do after that? How do we find out if they have contacted the recruiting department?
Immediately call us. As soon as you have a name and a phone number, call us.
Yeah.
And then we'll chase that driver down for you. Because if you just hand out our numbers, who knows what will happen there. But when you talk to somebody, get a name, Bob, and get a phone number, immediately get in touch with one of us, and we'll go to work for you to get them recruited, get them in orientation, get them seated in a truck, and get you paid your $1,000 recruiting or referral bonus.
And we'll also follow up with you, letting you know that yes, Bob and Joe were in orientation, so you know what to expect the following week.
And sometimes with some of these drivers, we've got to work a tag team, and we'll build a relationship on your side and on our side, work together to get them in to get you paid your bonus.
Melissa Brindle, you make a comment that you always give potential drivers your name and truck number and everything. Here's the problem with that: very rarely will they remember. I mean, oftentimes they talk with you and they'll take your truck number and your name or whatever, but they don't do anything with that slip of paper or whatever. And then 2 days down the road, they'll see one of our advertising or they'll see one of our trucks, and that'll prompt them to call in. And all the time we get calls, say, yeah, I talked to one of your drivers. I don't remember who it is. I don't remember, the truck number or anything. If that's how I found out about you guys. But if you'll get their name and their telephone number, then we'll document that, and you can email it in or call it in or text it in, whatever's easiest for you guys, okay? And I mean, you can even do it on instant message on Facebook Live, type of thing. We'll get it, and then we can document and make sure you get the referral bonus for that.
And I just wanted to piggyback on that is, just remember, you're the professional driver, which means you can scope out a really great referral. We're the professional recruiters. We're the ones, as Stephen said, that will track them down, and we'll do our best to bring them in as long as they're qualified, as long as they're exactly what you said that they are. They've got a great attitude. They're here to work. But trust and believe that we're here to not only make sure that they get on with a great company, but that you guys also get your referral bonus. And we'll keep you posted every step of the way.
Jose Salinas sent in a question. He says, are we allowed to train a new CDL holder?
Hi, Jose. Not really. Again, we're not a training company. Okay. With that being said, I mean it's it's. I mean, Tim brought me a candidate, the other day, out of Texas, and his new holder, and he was young, and he was a veteran, but that's really about the only, reason, that we could justify, bringing him into our program, there. And so, like I said, we want to be, character and people-based decisions, okay? And so I don't want to say blanket no, to your question there, Jose, but we're extremely picky on who we bring into our training program. And I'll be, there's some practicalities of it as well. I mean, we have, we're a team operation, and so most of our great drivers are already set in teams. We do have about 6 drivers that have volunteered to train and willing to train, and some of you are on, this broadcast now. And so that's one aspect of it, and we give them great training. But then what do we do with that driver afterwards? Okay, and think about if you've been with us for 5 years, type of thing, and then I have a driver say, hey, I'd like to team you up with Jim, and he's been driving for 3 months total, type of thing, and that gets to be a pretty uncomfortable response, there. So depending on the situation, depending on who they're going to ultimately end up with, teaming with, we'll look at them, but it needs to check off a lot of boxes, to make sure it's the right decision for the company, and for the individual driver, and for their, future co-drivers, et cetera, et cetera.
Gene Bilton says, when will we get our driver appreciation package? We have not received ours yet.
Riley Porter is in on this, and we can double check on that, but Kyla and Riley was working really hard on that, so it may still be en route. I'm not sure, but we can certainly check on that. Gary and Ruth Bruner had a question too about solo drivers. I mean, they said most of the drivers that they talk to are solo drivers. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, we need solo drivers all over the United States. We start our solo drivers off at 47 cents per mile, plus a 4-cent performance bonus paid weekly for a combined 51 cent per mile rate to be a solo driver. And we need solo drivers right now.
Let me go ahead, Kim.
Oh, I did want to clarify that there are certain areas with our solo that they're going to be out for a lot longer than the traditional 3 weeks. So maybe when you are talking to these drivers, just make sure that they're legitimately wanting to be over the road and out for several weeks, because it could be 3 weeks and it could be all the way up to 5 weeks. They do get a beautiful home time. They get a full home time with that. But if you have a driver that's looking to be home every week or every 2 weeks, it's just not going to happen with most of our solos.
Right, and I'm going to piggyback on that. And here's the thing: is if you're not comfortable asking that question, don't worry. Just give us a name and a number. We're going to find out anyway. We still want to talk to the folks. We're not going to ask you to, if it's somebody that you're close to, that you're comfortable talking to, ask them those questions, get all that information, give it to Kim or myself or Steven, and we'll move forward from there. But if it's someone that you're just really not comfortable talking or asking stuff that you might think is too personal, don't worry about it. Just get a name and number, and we'll take it from there.
And I'll elaborate a little bit further even on that. We are a team company, and you guys all know that, with the explosives that we haul, and so forth. We do have certain needs for solo drivers, and we've never really pushed for solo drivers. We're not pushing hard for solo drivers right now, but we have some specific customers that we can service with solo. So especially if they're in the western states, we're really interested in solo drivers out of there. And then if they're out of the Joplin, call it within 300 or 400 miles in the Joplin area. Western states, Joplin area, that's probably where we have the most need or interest for solo drivers. As Kim said, anywhere else in the nation, if they're a good driver, they're a good person, and they're a good character, we want to talk to them, and we'll figure something out, type of thing. But in general, Western 11 and Joplin areas is where, we're focused on the solos. So.
Michael Harrelson asks, are the potential trainers going to be training solos or possible team drivers, or is it too early to comment on that?
And Stephen, we need to speak up. I guess they're having a hard time hearing us. You know. So it's too early to comment on that. We're probably not going to, again, because we are team focused, we're probably not going to be willing to train solo drivers, you know, very often, if at all. Our focus here right now is really on team drivers. You know, as far as our veteran program and our training program goes. Let me talk about another program that we do want to do, though. Okay, and we're going to be starting a campaign, hopefully in the next couple of 3 weeks. You know, focused on, there's a lot of drivers out there, and mostly male, you know, that have families and spouses at home. Okay. And many of these, you know, they've reached 45, you know, 50 years old, and, you know, the wife, you know, has been stay at home or underemployed, but now they're empty nesters, you know, where the children are raised in college and, you know, and so forth. We're interested in that kind of couple. So if you have friends, you know, in particular, where somebody, whether it's the husband or the wife, has, you know, good significant trucking experience, and they have a spouse that would be interested in teaming with them, but they just don't have the experience, whatever, let us know about them, because we have a program where we can take care of both of them. You know, where we can train, you know, the spouse that doesn't have the experience, and then get them, you know, teamed up with their spouse, you know, running our freights. And so that is one opportunity we'd be interested in. I'm not sure yet how that program is going to work, but, you know, that's something we're trying to figure out here. Okay.
Sonia Stevens/Woods says, are there any incentives for the holidays if you stay out?
Sometimes. And to be honest with you, it all depends on how many, you know, our load counts, and then how many of our drivers, you know, we have to be home, you know, for you know, for the holidays. You know, like I said, you know, we've had years where, you know, we have more freight than we have drivers, and so yeah, we'll have some sort of holiday incentive, you know, to you know, try to get, you know, more teams out. Our policy has always been, you know, you essentially get to choose one or the other, either Thanksgiving, you know, week or Christmas week, you know, to take off, and then, you know, we really need the fleet, you know, to cover those two holidays. And think about that. I mean, 50% of our fleet is gone, you know, if you're choosing one or the other. So it all depends on our freight volume, and then, you know, those, for you owner operators are on here, you know, a lot of it depends on how many owner operators in particular take those holidays off. So Eric Matthews asked a question, or made a comment, which I just wanted to kind of highlight, because he's absolutely right. You know, he says people need to understand the product we haul and the risk behind it all. Having a brand new driver holding thousands of people's lives in their hands with no experience is a major risk, not only everyone around them not having experience to react, and then I can't read the rest of it. And Eric, you're absolutely right, you know, and so that's why we're not going to be a training program, you know, however, we have it, you know, in scenarios and environments where we have very experienced and qualified, you know, driver at all time in the truck, okay, and if they can get on with their spouse or something like that, we want to look at whether that makes sense for us, and obviously we're looking at the safety side of it. We're looking at the, you know, what's best for the company and what's best for the drivers, you know, aspect of it there. The other thing to remember too, especially as we focus on veterans, you know, many of them have, you know, many of you veterans came in with driving experience in the military, but the DOT doesn't consider that, give you credit for that, and that's what I'm saying. We don't want to be so, you know, blanket yes, blanket no. We want to look at each individual, you know, situation and opportunity to make the best decisions for the company overall. So.
And the best way is just call in,
Yep.
talk to one of us, and we'll guide you. We'll let you know if it's something we can possibly work with, if it's something that we can't touch. But just call. I mean, that's what we're all here for, is to help you figure out what we can do and what we can't do.
Okay. Other questions, Brittany? That
Not as of yet.
okay.
We want to go over the referral.
Yep, absolutely. So we've been on about 35 minutes, so we don't want to wear people out. So we had we have a few other things we were going to cover, but there's really one big important thing that we want to discuss, and we'll kind of wrap up.
Yeah, and we've pretty much covered it. We've talked about referrals
Right.
and what to do and all of that, but we just wanted to remind everybody, one of the reasons why we have these referral bonuses is because we genuinely value your opinion in the drivers that you send over. I can't imagine any of you guys sending someone over that you would knowingly it would be a knucklehead. You know what you're looking at. Again, we're the professional recruiter. We know how to recruit them, but you're the professional driver. When a driver's talking to you, you know if he's going to be a good driver or not, or if he's playing games. And so when you refer them, it's 1,000 times better than when we get drivers that call in off of an ad. We know that you're only going to send us somebody good. So we really want to show you our appreciation and bonus you. That's pretty much why we do it. So just to kind of go over the bonus amount, for every driver that we hire that you refer, once they run their first load, we pay you $1,000, and that is all up front. So if you were to refer a team, it would be $2,000. If you were to refer one person, it would be $1,000. But again, we just really want you to know how much we appreciate it, and also please know that anybody you send our way, we're diligently going to work with them to the best of our ability to get them in here for you. And then keep you posted on everything. I don't know if anybody else has any other thing to think about.
That's great.
That's perfect.
That's great. That's
So.
great. Yeah, just give us a call. Let us know who you find, name, phone number. We'll tear on it from there.
Yeah.
We'll chase them down for you, drag them in if we have to.
Yeah. But again, please don't only give them our information. Make sure you get their information and immediately call your recruiter or call a recruiter so we can document it and make sure that we know who that person referred them was. So.
That's great. Thank you very much, everybody. I don't know if it's too early to say happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Okay, we'll talk to everybody soon. I'll be in Joplin next week. Anybody who's going to be in Joplin, so
Yeah.
see you next week.
Be
Bye.
safe, be
Thanks, guys.
successful.
Thanks.